Hello, and welcome back to a new podcast episode celebrating International Women's Day. I'm your host, Charmaine, and I'm here today with two special guests, Matt Schifrin, SVP and CFO, APJ, and Michelle Tan, Senior Manager, Internal Audit. Glad to have you with us today. International Women's Day celebrates the social, economic, cultural, and political accomplishments of women. This day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. The global campaign theme for IWD 2023 is Embrace Equity. When we embrace equity, we must understand the journey women must take to achieve equality. Now, equity and equality. You've most likely heard both terms by now, but let's hear it again from Michelle, how she defines these terms.
So for a layman term, something that I read this morning, equality is like giving everyone a shoe, and equity is like giving everyone a shoe that fits. So equality provides same resources to all, and you deem that's fairness, but equity is much more sustainable because it's requiring more foresight and intention to tailor to individual needs.
Michelle, that really resonates with me, right? The shoe that fits. So for most that know, I moved across the world with my family. We made the decision for this role to come to Singapore last year, a year ago. And I can tell you that shoe needed to fit a little differently for that to happen, for me to be there. And I'm really appreciative for not only just what the company's done, but also the welcoming of, people and individuals. And I mean, just to put this a little bit more specifically, the company had to help me in securing a work permit for me to be able to have this opportunity. So it's interesting as you kind of apply it through. And then when I think about how we think about it from, equity in terms of coworker engagement, I mean, the welcoming in terms of how to get set up at schools, restaurants to go to, because I love to eat, right? So I have to pick everyone's brain on what are the best restaurants to go to, but being able to get that level playing field to get my new life started here. I mean, I basically starting over with bank accounts and everything.
Now, considering the campaign theme, Embrace Equity, what does that mean to you?
I think it's important to learn from each other and acknowledging, we have different individual needs. We came from different backgrounds, we have different culture, different experience. Everyone have basically different starting point. So it's important to consider and to listen, personalize based on individual needs and allow them to maximize their potential and success. Especially we work in a team, we come from different backgrounds. So I think listening is really important as well to all your team members, giving everyone a chance and then catering to what they need.
Yeah, and Michelle, I definitely agree, right? It's supporting each other and being there. I think what I'm hearing, being able to listen to each other,
yes.
But not being able to shy away from our own little uniqueness in the process. It's even forgiving, right? When maybe there's some cultural mistakes. I can tell you, I made quite a few when I first arrived, right? So, but it's being able to kind of thrive upon those differences and work together.
Yes, exactly.
That being said, I have a question for you, Matt. So women make up half of the workforce and they also head up half of the household. Yet they still suffer from some unconscious bias despite their responsibilities in these areas. Is there a way that men, as their ally, can help to rectify the tilt or level the playing field at home and at work?
Absolutely. So first of all, you said it right. I mean, allyship, it's an action. It's a verb. It's not a noun for all of us to partake in. And if I think about some tactics as we're thinking through this, being able to keep actions that are collaborative and working together for all of us. So first, as Michelle alluded to and talked about, first, we need to be able to listen and learn from each other and ask questions about the experiences of women in the workplace. And this is something that I've learned is asking and not assuming what role you can play in being able to provide support. So communication definitely needs to change. And I think over the last year of what the DE&I Council has done for the organization is part of that process, right? But lastly, as leaders and coworkers, we owe this to all genders in our organization. So let's show up, listening, learning, and doing the work, but then let's keep the work going.
And Matt, are there any tips that you can share for male allies who want to promote allyship or how we can all work towards gender equity?
Great question. And I think it's a journey, not a destination for us. It's a constant commitment to learning about those experiences of other groups, fostering that growth mindset, welcoming feedback, and then reflecting on missteps. And there will be missteps, right? So, Michelle, you're married, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I do, my wife, she will, start talking about maybe some challenges she's facing. And I always go right into go fix mode. And I think that's, part of my human nature. But sometimes men may interpret the meaning of allyship as equating it to needing to be that rescuer.
Yeah.
right? I'm not
Sometimes
saying
you just need a listener, some supportive comments, you know.
absolutely, because going into action mode and being that rescuer may actually only be reinforcing the gender status quo that we have, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, I mean, I think it's important to not necessarily just solve problems, but to be there, listening, learning, and waiting and asking, how can I help support you better? This is why the last step, though, is iterations. This is going to be a process, and being able to learn from those mistakes and then reiterate to get better is, to me, the most important step in this whole process.
Thanks for that, Matt. I've got to take notes for my husband. Okay, how about you, Michelle? Any thoughts on how the roles of allies can contribute to gender equity?
I think it's important to understand the importance of gender equity. Like for now, I'm 6 months pregnant. So I'm really appreciative. Now most of the time I'm actually working from home. So it allows me to either fetch my kids easily from work and then manage my time much more flexibility as well. And being part of the APAC team, sometimes I have meetings with different time zones. And I have really supportive team members where they would share notes the next day with me instead of me staying up late 12 a.m. to be part of the meetings with US team. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations, Michelle. It's an exciting, start to this journey that I think we're all on, right? And so this is something that we'll learn and we'll iterate from here. Let's keep going.
Anyway, that's all we have for this episode. It has been a pleasure talking to you both, Matt and Michelle. And thanks to our listeners for sticking with us all the way. I hope you found this episode useful. We will be back with our final episode. Until then, have a great day ahead.
Yes, thank you all very much. This was a great opportunity, and happy National Women's Day.
Thank you, Charmaine. Thanks, Matt.